Willkommen zu The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, einem sehr abgedrehten Spiel, wo es praktisch darum geht, dass der Erzähler uns durch die Geschichte leitet und je nachdem, wie wir vorgehen, kommentiert der Erzähler das, geht darauf ein, solche Sachen. Und das Original Stanley Parable war eins der ersten Videos, die ich auf dem Kanal hochgeladen habe. Damals noch ohne Commentary. Und das hier ist jetzt praktisch nochmal eine überarbeitete Version, die das alte enthält, grafisch aufgehübscht ist und neue Geheimnisse entdeckt. Und das sehen wir uns zusammen mal an und gucken, ob es noch dieselben Geheimnisse sind oder so. Und ja, das Ganze ist komplett in Englisch, also die Sprachausgabe zumindest. Und ich habe jetzt die Untertitel eingeschaltet, wie man sehen kann, in Deutsch, die Bildschirmtexte. Und wir legen einfach mal los.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Ja, das ist Willkommen bei Stanley Parable nochmal. Und es wird sehr abgedreht. Wir werden auch sehr viele verschiedene Enden sehen. Wir werden auch einige Zeit lang mal rumstehen, wie hier zum Beispiel. Und wahrscheinlich auch Enden ansehen, die man schon vom alten Stanley Parable kennt. Okay, wir gehen jetzt einfach mal.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Tada. Da sind wir wieder. Gut, dann machen wir uns auf.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, He couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ach ja, das ist übrigens auch was, wenn man alle Computer in verschiedenen Enden gefunden hat, in verschiedenen Runs. Also es ist praktisch, es startet immer in dem Büro und je
When
nachdem...
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Die Sache ist, damals bin ich rechts reingegangen, also folgen wir ihm diesmal.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Ich bin mal gespannt, was das für neue Enden sind und ob ich die so finden kann. Achso. Ah, yay. Nee, das ich, ja, bevor ich das Game wieder breake, zeige ich euch mein Lieblingsding.
So he turned around and got back on track.
Das ist meine absolute Lieblingsszene aus Stanley Parable.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Es wird besser.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Und ich frage mich, ob es einfach dieselben Voicelines sind oder ob die komplett neu eingesprochen wurden.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Bin mal gespannt, was er jetzt gleich...
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Das ist halt irgendwie mein absoluter Lieblingsmoment.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Das sage ich halt wortwörtlich jedem, dem ich von dem Spiel erzähle.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Ich liebe es.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Okay. Das war's.
Second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
Denkst du?
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Okay. Das war das Besenkammerende. Mein absolutes Lieblingsende. Ich meine, es passiert hier so viel Kram. Alles ist cool, aber allein diese Szene, dass er nach einem zweiten Spieler ruft, ist absolut super.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. Achso, das mit dem Rückwärtslaufen mache ich einfach nur so. Warte mal, das ist neu. Das ist neu. Ich habe das Gefühl, Geld ist zum Stehen, aber nicht deins. Das erste Wort kann ich nicht lesen. Das ist eine alleingelassene Tasche. Sergeant? Nee, keine Ahnung. Okay. Gut. Gehen wir erstmal weiter. Aber gut zu wissen, dass die Geschäftsleitung jetzt ein Badezimmer hat. Oh. Das ist auch alles neu. Ich meine, der Drang zu entdecken. Jetzt. Stimmt, aber. Ich möchte doch nur wo ankommen. Er singt Stanley. Okay. Das dauert nichts.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2, 8, 4, 5. Oops. 5, 4.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Oh, okay.
Two, 845.
Ah.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Oh.
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Ich erinnere mich nicht, dass es letztes Mal so dunkel war. Aber grafisch sieht das echt schon hübsch aus. Okay, sie haben es geschafft, es gruseliger zu machen. Definitiv.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Aber entkommen. Okay. Gehen wir weiter. Spielen wir mal mit. Direkt. Und Licht.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Gefeuert, gefeuert. Das da oben interessiert mich. Da ganz oben ist ein Feld, das sieht sehr anders aus. Der unter 233. Aber ansonsten gibt es nur die normalen.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Wenn ich gerade schon dabei bin, zeige ich euch gleich mal eben noch ein Easteregg. Glaube ich. Was waren wir? Wir waren 272? Ja. Oh, da 28 ist auch so ganz merkwürdig. Kann ich das lesen? Nee, kann ich nicht. Egal. Und Knopf. Es ist sehr viel versteckt. Also die Secrets Room 2014. Nein. Die haben sehr viel gemacht.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it.
Ich hab's grad lächerlich gemacht.
In someone else's control. Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Einschalten, ausschalten.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Das ist auch eine Art und Weise, seinen Job zu verlieren oder zu kündigen. Gut, hier sind wir wieder.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Aber was uns jetzt erwartet, sehen wir dann beim nächsten Mal.